I remember there is this quote, and it was like below an eagle, and it was like, no one knows how far you can fly unless you open your wings and try. I will pass it to Jin.
Thanks, Mr. Wonka. Yeah, that's a good one. I want to find this, if we're talking about a quote or words to live by. I heard this the other day. It's a quote from Stephen Hawking, and it's applicable to gravity. Let's see. It says, keep talking. Yeah, for millions of years, mankind lived just like the animals. Essentially, you can search for millions of years, mankind lived just like the animals. Then something happened which unleashed the power of our imagination. We learned to talk and we learned to listen. Speech has allowed the communication of ideas, enabling human beings to work together to build the impossible. Mankind's greatest achievements have come about by talking, and its greatest failures by not talking. It doesn't have to be like this. Our greatest hopes could become reality in the future. With the technology at our disposal, the possibilities are unbounded. All we need to do is make sure we keep talking. And pass to Dan.
I guess you meant me. Well, I don't know how. The only quote I can think of right now is one that I don't know, maybe is more fitting to an earlier phase of my life, but it's buy the ticket, take the ride. And, basically that means, you signed up, so get ready for the ride. And I will pass it to Bianca.
So, I'm not really sure if you're talking about code, like a phrase.
Yeah, quotes to live by. It's the
Quotes.
icebreaker.
Okay. So just like in the beginning of this week, I heard one that was it's kind of like moving me this week. It's like, what is the rock that you moved today? So try to move a rock every day. So I'll pass it to Aline.
You're still muted.
Yeah, it's a deep democracy one, like, you don't see the world the way it is. You see the world the way you are. Everything is perspective. And I pass it on to Anna.
Okay, I will tell you my favorite quote is from Carl Gustav Jung. Knowing your own darkness is the best method for dealing with the darknesses of other people. And I'll pass it to Morgan.
Hey, good morning, y'all. There's so many. One that first popped into my mind is something I've held on to since I was a teenager. It's in Spanish, and it's pues la vida es como la espuma, por eso hay que darse como el mar. And it's essentially like life is like sea foam, and thus we need to give ourselves like the rhythm of the sea. So just kind of like surrendering to tides and flow and the power of water and all of that. So that I got this morning. Is that the most of you got?
No, thank you. I was watching yesterday again, and there's a phrase that Bai said to his little sister, and it's what makes you different makes you strong. And it's so emotive, so I love this phrase. I'll pass it to Bear.
Hi, can you all hear me? Sorry, I'm on the road. It's a little noisy, but my quote that I'm feeling right now is actually from a longer poem, the Wendell Berry Mad Farmers Liberation Front. Good poem if you want to check it out. But the quote I wanted was, as soon as the generals and politicos can predict the motions of your mind, lose it. Leave it as a sign to mark the false trail, the way you didn't go. Be like the fox who makes more tracks than necessary. Some in the wrong direction. Practice resurrection. My quote. And I don't know who hasn't gone yet. I'll pass it to Morganic.
Well, I just went, but I loved what you just said.
Thanks. Aloysius?
Yeah, Aloysius, perfect.
Hi, friends. Feeling extra autistic. I have no idea what I just stumbled into, so I'm going to say good morning. It's too early for me to do anything creative or pull anything out of anywhere, but I love you all.
Okay, Durgadas, we are talking about quotes. We are not being able to listen to hear.
Consistently for the last 20 years, it's been my favorite quote. It's from the Buddha. It says, "There is more to knowledge than simply being correct." Did Pythagorean go?
Yeah, Pythagorean.
Hey, thanks. So this is a quote I learned from my grandfather, who's 96 years old, and he got this from from his mother. And it's "No hay mal que por bien no venga." Thanks, y'all. Oh, and Juan, can you pass it to someone since I came late?
Yeah, I think that the two that are missing are Irene and Incandenza.
Any chance we could get a translation, explanation of that last quote?
Yeah, so there's nothing bad that good can't come from it.
All right.
Irene, you feel like sharing?
Okay, I can go. So you just gave me time to search for a quote because I don't know any, and this makes me nervous. But I found this one that I want to change. It's about an art and someone I follow, and he's not alive anymore, Ray Castellino, and it says the baby is not just there for himself. And I want to change it that we are here just for ourselves. We live in relations.
Wow, that's a lot of knowledge in these 10 minutes. I love this idea. Thanks, Lynn. I think the only one missing is Incandenza. We cannot hear you, even though it appears unmuted. Okay. Maybe he will join again. And okay. Hey, Incandenza. Can you try again? Okay. If once you are able to open your mic, please feel free to interrupt, and we will continue with the agenda. But yeah, please feel free to interrupt whenever you are able to speak. I just shared my screen with the third Graviton training study plan. I think this is something we've been working like the past 2 or 3 months, and I really have the intention today to have like a go for launch moment so that we post this in the TEC forum and we are able to start advertising and making marketing of this third Graviton training. That will be the third cohort of this course, where we are trying to train people in basic skills to build trust, to communicate non-violently, and to manage multiple types of conflicts. And right now, I am very proud that we have a lot of new contributions, that also we will be speaking about deep democracy and about liberating structures, and also that we will try to have a very practical course. So yeah, this is the document. I think all of you have it, but I will also share it. We can make last minute edits, because my idea is that maybe after this call, some minutes after, we can post this. But it starts like: the graviton is the hypothetical quantum of gravity, an elemental particle that mediates the force of gravitational interaction. The Graviton training is a 10-session course that deep dives into tools and skills to prevent and manage conflict amongst DAO contributors. If you participate, claiming 6 or more POAPs, you can become a Graviton, a clear access point for your community to request support in a variety of situations. Here is the pre-registration spreadsheet, and right now we have some people. It would be really cool for these people who have already put their names in to fill also this third column, that is DAOs that I contribute to, because the idea is that we will make subgroups within the students of the training with people that participate in similar DAOs, so that we can make these study groups, and also to start helping each DAO to have like a group of people that will tackle these issues in their own organization.
Where is the link for that spreadsheet?
Yeah, it's here. The pre-registration, it's in the third Graviton training study plan, but I will also copy it and share it.
Oh, I got it. Thanks. Yeah.
I will also copy it and share it. This is the same spreadsheet where we have had like the past information from the other trainings. Here we have the first and the second Graviton training too, but it's cool that we can have all this information for the tracking of the people who have participated in these trainings. The time slot will be on Tuesdays at 2 p.m. EST, 8 p.m. CET. I think this is noon Pacific time. We will have 1 session per week, and it will be 10 sessions. The sessions will be held on Zoom, and the links will be posted in the TC Discord server. The starting date will be the 24th of May, and the ending date will be the 28th of July. We will have a capacity of 80 POAPs per session. And this is the methodology that is based on Durgada's design. That is that there has been a previous curation of the tools and information to prepare the training. This content is being promoted with everyone for informed consent and setting expectations. The moderation of each session is given to a facilitator with a unique point of view that holds the space for education and contextualization, and promote engagement for the cross-pollination phase, where we encourage participants to discuss and exchange expertises and points of view, and participate in meaningful ways to produce new knowledge and iterate within cycles of living wisdom. After the training, Gravitons shall be able to make an effort to be present and accessible to their community, bringing high vibes and promoting relationships of trust, separate the people from problems, making parties identify with themselves and others as equals rather than centering on their own conflictive thoughts, feelings, self-determinate from all parties and recognize key management points, promote empathy between conflicting parties, adapt their mindsets, propose alternatives to deal with paradoxes, and act according to institutional regulations while implementing actions to frame unwanted behavior within rules and boundaries. And this is something new that I added, but that was because of Livy's feedback, and to add this objective of the course, and is that the participants of the trainings are able to use in a basic level of competence the conflict management framework developed by Gravity. And right now there's something that we have been developing since the first training, but right now we will advertise it as our framework. And it's something that we call the 4Ps, that is people, problem, process, and possible solutions. Understanding the different moments and aspects of this transformational process while having access to multiple tools and approaches to apply depending on the specifics of a case. This is a very cool contribution by the Liberating Structures and Deep Democracy work that gave us not a one tool fits for all, but a toolbox to apply in different circumstances. So this is the framework for conflict analysis, the 4Ps, that is people, problem, process, and possible solutions. That's like the way we are trying to have like a signature on the gravity conflict analysis framework. So here's the start of the third Graviton training study plan. The first session will be an introductory session where we will have an inclusive welcome. I think this will be facilitated by Lynn if she's in the call. But if not,
I am.
Okay, perfect. We will also have an ice-breaking activity, but for this ice-breaking activity, we will make breakout rooms, because if we allow everyone to talk in the open space, we will take too much time with this ice-breaking activity. So we will make it in breakout rooms, and we will talk about these expectation settings and the methodology just mentioned, and make a fast presentation of the models of the course like we are doing right now, because we want everyone to feel like that they know what they are getting into. We will also try to identify some teams, like I said before, like who are the people who come from similar DAOs. I know that we will have people from Aragon, from the TC, from OneHive, from Gitcoin. So we will make some study groups. And since the first session, we will make a group assignment that will be to present on the 9th session an application of the proposed framework for the study of a case. So it will mean that in the 9th session, we will have some groups that will say, okay, we chose this conflict or this situation, and we are going to map who is the people involved, who are the actors, what is the relationship of power, what is the problem that is causing that people to be faced, what is the process that have characterized the conflict, and what are some possible solutions that they see. This can be for a case that can be really big or a case that can be really small. But the idea is to have the groups applying the framework, so that we can have at least after the training some certainty that the people has the agency and the tools, at least the tools, to map a conflictive situation and try to propose solutions out of them. The first module will start with Durgadas on the 31st of May. That would be the last Tuesday of May. And he will be talking about polarity wisdom, about unified thinking. I like this question of are you a DAO? That is the design that he has about that people think that just because they have the smart contracts, they are a DAO, and that there's some philosophy that and some steps that need to be covered before thinking that we reached that last step without having to walk a long road. That also has a lot of culture and social structures within it. He will be talking about DDOs, the deliberately developmental organizations, and these are two readings about how to not manage complexity and what is shadow work for contextualization. Also, if anyone wants to add or edit, this is the moment. The third session will be the 7th of June and will be facilitated by Morgan. We will be talking about trauma-sensitive and anti-oppressive culture, accessing our body as a tool for consent and connection. There are four resources on this. 4 short videos on body-based trauma responses, anti-oppressive relationship maps, consent as an awareness practice, and anti-oppression and activism health. The fourth session will be Didan, and he will be talking about nonviolent communication, the Offner practice, that is observation, feelings, needs, and requests. There's a summary of this practice. There's an audiobook of the complete book, and we also have the complete book that the link should be added here. Yeah, does someone want to say something in this point?
I just have to go at 8:30, unfortunately. Somebody scheduled something for my regular job right at the start of the day. So, sorry about that.
Don't worry, and thank you. Thank you, dear guys. Then we will go to the module 2 that will be based on how we see problems.
Well, I have a question.
Yeah.
Do we want to put the time of those videos in there like Morgan did?
It can be a good addition, but I don't think it should be mandatory because there's also a lot of texts.
Okay. I can just add it really quick.
Okay, if you feel like doing it, then please do. And
Right.
I'm excited to present this. That is the Graviton guide. That it's also like a souvenir and a present that we will give all the Gravitons. Like the idea of this guide, and I praise Acid Laser for helping with this design and content creation. Is that everyone has this step-by-step for mediation in DAOs, and we have like the most basic things that Gravity proposes for mediation in DAOs, and that anyone that has this guide at least can have some idea on what to do. So yeah, first, each mediation should be a voluntary process. All members, including the parts who participate in cases, and the Gravitons and the mediators should participate at their own will. Also, that the Graviton should have the capacity to act with self-determination and recognize when there's conflict of interest. Also,
Before I go, can I ask one question about?
Yeah.
The teams that we'd been talking about, like for, so I think there was a proposal at one time. I think back Morgan and stuff talking. It might be good to have kind of amount of people that might be assigned to a case, given the situation, and then what we could do is all kind of support each other through the process of the case. And so, and if not, even if there's just one person involved, you'd still have other people sort of on your team that would sort of help with that. So I didn't know if there was any talk about that during this coordination, because we'd have to coordinate differently if we're doing the team thing, right? So I just wanted to bring that up before I had to go. So.
Well, I think that's something that we still need to work on, and we will have 20 days to work on this before the start of the training, because there's a lot of people that want to participate, but still we are only going to publish this today, so we will be going to have to deal with a lot of complexity around people joining in such a short time. But we might have to have a call around that on the design of the teams.
Yeah, just that way, we have more experienced people in certain ways, we can. So if you just had some kind of idea about different specialties or something, you might, I don't know, there's just a bunch of different ways we could do that. So I just wanted to open that discussion. I've got to go now, but thank you.
Okay, thank you too. Maybe we can add this here, like as a row of a specialty. Or a specialty. Yeah, this is a great idea. Specialty. Okay, let's go back to this Graviton guide. Also, some other ethical standards are confidentiality, impartiality, that all mediators should act within professional responsibility and accountability for their actions. And there's this last principle that I am happy to have included here, and is that we also want to have rotation in gravity, and here is 3 years in a row to avoid accumulation of power. I actually like this because 3 years in a row is a lot, and it means that we are also encouraging like a growing process and a leadership process, and not like getting stagnated within roles and power. Also, 3 years in a row is a lot of time within these fast-moving times, and it's interesting to see what can we do after this to rotate. This is the Graviton Path, and the first stage is to get the training. The second stage is to gain experience and contribute, and the third stage is to become an active Graviton and manage conflict in your community. These are the expectations of the training, and this is the importance, like the starting of how to manage a case. So first, we need to create a safe space, and we need for that a lot of empathy. We need to separate the people from the problems, is communication, focusing interest and not impositions. Also, we need to help people to get to their optimal arousal zone, once as conflict starts, one of the first moments is trying to get people to their optimal arousal zone, because sometimes when a conflict starts, we can meet someone who is hyper aroused and that is being driven by their emotions in a reactive way, or someone who is hyper aroused that is being driven by their emotions in a passive way. So we try to with the first approach to try to bring people to the place where they can acknowledge their feelings, but also acknowledge their needs and the others' needs as equally relevant. Overcoming communication constraints with nonviolent communication. The 4 components of NVC that are observation, feeling, needs, and requests. The conflict transformation platform that Gravity proposes, where if the negotiation is unsuccessful, we can also suggest and support to make other arbitration processes. Why it's important to keep a registry for transparency and accountability. And the 4 Ps, that is people, problem, process, and possible solutions, with some of the things that are relevant within each category, so that everyone who has access to these slides can say, okay, we have a conflict, so we are going to think who are the people involved in this, and we have these things to take into consideration. How and what are the things that we can see in the problem? What is the process that the conflict has been following, and what are some possible solutions that we can see? Also, both from a short-term response and from a long-term transformative action. Some guiding questions. And here are some forms that are of easy access to everyone, like this observation form where you can take notes of private meetings with parties, and also a mediation form where you can write an agreement between parties. This is how we structure the zone of possible agreement by understanding what are the most desired outcomes of each party and the least acceptable agreements to build a BATNA. So we are still working on this. This is like the version 1.1, 1.2, but I want to make it more dynamic. I think that maybe I will take out some of these slides that maybe are not so practical for the purpose of managing one specific case. Maybe it would be even better to have a slide with the liberating structures tooling, so that people can have like multiple tools for a case. That would be an idea that I just had now. So yeah, this is still work in progress, and I will be using these resources as support that are why is important to have policy development, to have conflict management, what are some of the philosophical principles and frameworks that we are using to produce this 4-piece framework, this reconciliation ritual, also the latest Gravity Medium blog post that I think you all have read, and these unbreakable vows I will make like a spoiler. That is a work in progress that we are trying to do to be able to have mediations encrypted with cryptographic signatures. Then after this session, we will have Lean talking about deep democracy, and it would be really cool if we can have like a small practice. I took also talking a little bit about the book Who Do We Choose to Be, that we have been having this book club over now 7 sessions, but also talking about important concepts of deep democracy, like the iceberg and of consciousness and the resistance line. Those are two really cool things that we worked in the practice groups, but there's also like bibliography around this that is like the consciousness that we see is just the tip of the unconscious wisdom that lies and within the collective, and that we are not moving. So we need to be conscious of this consciousness. Like we need to be conscious of our unconsciousness, or bring the consciousness to conscious, and raise the iceberg to be able to have more things to include within our decision taking. These slides are I think more or less good to explain this.
I will send you another slide deck, Juan, that is slightly better.
Okay, I also took this one that also have like more or less the same, like the conscious and unconscious.
Is that from the Lewis? Yeah.
But yeah, if you can add another one, we and suggest to
The
take.
more the better. Yeah.
Then the 7th session will be the 5th of July with Lowy, and she will be talking about restorative justice circles, accountability, why to have conflicts, and building trust and resolving conflict. Then after this, we would have Jeremy. Also, this session, it would be really cool if it can be practical. We will be talking about the liberating structures menu, and here are some readings that he included as content for his session, including all voices, shared thinking, and working out loud. That's really cool, because there's a lot of practice that we can have in this working out loud methodology, because here in the Web3, like, we are doing so much things, but sometimes we are not documenting everything we do, and that can cause either lack of visibility or overlapping with other projects. So as more visibility that we can have, and as more loud that we can work, it's also good, and it's something that Jeremy has been talking about in the practice groups. Then the last 2 sessions will be very practical too. The 9th session, we will be using the 4-piece framework to have like the group cases presentation. Each group will have 5 to 10 minutes to present the application of the 4-piece framework to the conflict they have chosen. I want to share that I did this work. I did it when I was studying conflict management in the university, and I will show like what I did. So I think it's a good activity to have within these sessions. It's in Spanish, but I did it like exactly the same. Like, I chose the conflict generated for the state intervention to the enterprise called Electricaribe, that was the service provider, and it is a conflict that has been present since 1998, and I studied it until 2019, but this conflict still continues. So, like, who are the main analysis of people, who are the main actors, the secondary actors, the relationship of power between actors, the feeling of the actors in the conflict, and now like analysis of the problem, some precedents, faced arguments that propose the conflict, and faced interest, the reach of the conflict, in which moment was detected the conflict, and now the process, like which were the triggering events, some facts that we can see that manifest the situation, and how has the conflictive situation been managed. Also, I like this timeline. It's really good when you are analyzing a conflict to have a timeline to see like which can be some triggering events. With the timeline, you can also make a like a guess into the future, and you can also have like a lot of the information that has been developing in the conflict to see some we can make some alert signals to prevent future scalings, and then possible solutions. It's always good to propose not one but three, and also to think about the legitimacy of the decision, the effectivity, and verification mechanisms. So this is the 4Ps framework: people, problem, process, and possible solutions. All this is supported by a lot of authors in the topic, but like here we can see all these things are the ones that are in the Graviton guide. So it's based it's on a study, but also on experience. And then the 10th session, we will make a role play, me and Jeremy, and make a wrap up of the training. This role play would be, I would really like if we can make it not one situation for all, but having like multiple cases, so that at the end, when we are sharing, we don't share like all experiencing the same conflict, but like we can have a very interesting discussion from the different experience of people. So we will try to design like 5 conflictive situations, so that each group doesn't have like the same experience. And in the following weeks, the list of the third cohort of Gravitons will be published, with the people who successfully claimed at least 6 or more or the POAPs. This is like, if you like what we're doing, we invite you to continue the Graviton Path to gain experience with our practice groups and continue the education activities. Once you're familiar with our working styles and processes, you can step up and participate in our bounty system, that is our Dework platform. Most of you know it. And or become an active Graviton to continue managing conflictive cases in your or other communities. Follow us on Twitter and donate to our Gitcoin grants too. That's the Graviton training study plan. What do you feel? Do you think we can make some last minute changes? There's a strong no. It would be good if we still have some no's, just to have more inclusion. But yeah, my intention also, and not for, and it would be good to have a no, just for me to not be like such a strong voice in the space. But yeah, I am opening mics.
I just want to say I'm so proud of everybody that put all this work into this third Graviton study plan. It looks amazing. I'm so excited of it. And I just want to correct that's a date. It's the lean. It's the 29th, and that's a Wednesday. I don't know if you did that. It is gonna be a Wednesday.
Okay,
It's
I
not
was checking my calendar. I was like, Is there a mistake or no? Okay, so it's
Yeah,
definitely
I didn't know. I didn't know it was like intention.
It's me. Yeah, sorry.
No, yeah. It's
Yeah,
it's
that's
indeed a Wednesday. So I double checked, but the training is on Tuesdays, right?
Yeah.
So is
Yeah.
that accidentally? Yeah. So
It was a mistake.
Okay, I just wanted to like.
cool.
Okay, cool. Nice.
Great God.
It's
Okay.
booked.
I will. This.
Okay, now we officially got Wonka's no, so we're ready to proceed.
Yeah, well, it's go for lunch for me. Whoever wants to mic and say opens their mic and say go for lunch, it's just really cool to hear other voices.
Looks great, Juan.
Okay. So, okay, we're moving with this. To have these last minutes of the call, I would also talk about the Dework work that we've been doing. Right now we have distributed 22 bounties in 2 months, and we have 11 bounties in progress for this month. We will be working on a website page design that Durgadas, Aloysius, and Streamer are working on. If you want to contribute on this is something that we will be working on, I think, in the next coordination calls once we start or are more clear with the Graviton training. It would be really cool to have this landing page for us to advertise our products, to talk about our educational activities, refer people to our socials, and ease access to conflict management and also organizational gravity development. Septi is doing the treasury management role. Bear has been working on an organizational development draft, and we will continue working on this the following months. I have been the coordination manager. I am also requesting 400 XDAI for networking and outreach done with Graviton, with Aragon, and also done in real life in representing Gravity in DevConnect in Amsterdam, and making talks about Gravity and conflict management in the space. We will have Jeremy finishing the practice group and leading, and also leading the book club that will finish mid this month, and also lean for the continued education activities that were the role plays. We also will have Bianca for her assistant role in coordination and leading the research initiative and the survey on psychology. And we also have Benz in his role of active Graviton. This is the distribution that we will be doing in April. And for the Graviton team, we have a pool that is 1,000 XDAI that will be distributed between the people who have actively contributed to the preparation and execution of the Graviton training. The total amount is 1,000 XDAI, and this will be for design the POAPs and marketing of the training. We have for this Acid Laser, Ephra, and Anna. For communication and design, we have Juan, Bianca, and Livy. And for distribution of the POAPs, we have Aloysius. So this is like another bounty that will be distributed for the people who is coordinating the Graviton training. And for each facilitator of the training, we will have a pool of 200 RAP XDAI. So if there is 2 facilitators in a session, maybe we will split the pool. But if there is one facilitator, yeah, we would recognize that as 200 RAP XDAI. It's not much, but it's a way that we can at least say thanks to the people who is helping us facilitating their sessions.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, this is what I wanted to share today.
Thank you, Juanca. Will we be co-running any sort of study groups or book clubs while the Graviton training is going? Or are we just gonna stay focused on the Graviton training? So I think we were doing like NVC sort of co-occurring last fall, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, the practice groups ended. Maybe we can start another new practice group or educational activity within the time period that the Graviton training is happening, because this is on Tuesdays, and we can have the space on Thursdays to have this another educational activities. So I know that there's a lot of people that want to lead these educational activities. So please feel free to suggest if you have any idea of what you want to work on, what topics do you want to lead. If also you feel that there's a book you would like to create a book club, that's the idea of the bounties. And that's the idea of having continued education activities all year, not having like the same topics once and over again. Maybe we can repeat sometime, but to have like a continued education activities and offer for people to continue learning multiple things within Gravity.
Mm-hmm. For those of us that would be interested in doing that, there'll be kind of like a re-upping of bounties available on the left-hand site for sharing?
Yes. Yeah, we are available. It's just to talk about that. Actually, it's amazing that you're asking this, because as we ended the practice groups, it's always good to be thinking on what will come after and it's like the right time. So my only like intention or suggestion would be to maybe write something up, a small thing of what your idea is, and we can add it to our agenda and make it happen.
Be more so us coming with ideas and then the bounty meets the idea rather than the bounty being available.
I couldn't hear well the last thing.
Oh yeah. I guess it's as far as procedure, we come with the idea and then the bounty meets our idea rather than the bounty being available and we then submit. Got it. Cool.
Yeah, the thing with that is that in Dework, if you create the bounty and leave it open, you will have a lot of people spamming the bounty. So it's better to have like an internal coordination, and then the bounty can just be created in seconds. But I want to thank you all for being here, for your time, for all your contributions. I am super excited about the Graviton training. I think it will be a really cool training. I am really happy of the offer that we have, of the people and the facilitators that we have. I also want it to be really practical, and I honor all of the contributions that you have done in this time. I am sorry if sometimes I miss someone, but I'm doing my best, and if you find that I am missing you, please open your mics and say, Juan, you're not counting me. I want to be there. I want to be visible. I want to be recognized. I don't want this to be anything of me like pushing anything. I want this to be a group effort. I know that all of you we share some common goals and some intrinsic motivation around helping others and promoting a more peaceful world. So I also respect all of your points of view, and I don't want to push anything if we are not moving as a group. So and I feel that's the way we will grow, and that's the way Gravity will be a success in the space. So nothing. I just say these last words, saying thank you, and that I am excited for what's to come.
Thank you so much. Amazing.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Lily.
Juan.
Thanks, Juan.
Okay.
Super emocional. Thank you all.
Thank you, Wonka.
Thank you,
Okay.
everybody.
Well,
Love you all.
let's meet soon, and thank you for being here.
Ciao.